Welcome to the Invisibles Incorporated Contingency Plan playthrough with your host, Signs, brought to you by Tandy. Christmas is coming, but are you tired of all the modern fads? Why not celebrate Christmas the way St. Peter did with the Tandy upside-down Christmas tree? Tandy, products for every occasion. Hey guys, so this is what we're going to be doing now. It's Invisibles Incorporated. If you're not familiar with this is a game by Clay. They did most famously Don't Starve, but they've also done a number of other fairly solid games. As you can guess, this is a turn-based tactics game, which is what I'm good at. And it's basically a spy game. Interesting thing about it is combat is somewhat unique. Guards don't stay knocked out forever, and it's also very binary. It's basically combat basically amounts to who shoots first. There's no health bars or anything or damage or anything like that. It's just who shoots first. I'll show you more of the mechanics as we play along, but I'm starting here because I want to show you the adjustable difficulty, which is rather interesting. These are all settings for how you can adjust the difficulty in the game. Basically, you can cause the alarms to activate faster, or maybe even not at all. You can retry the levels if you want. You can start off with more power for your hacking. If you want, guards can stay knocked out longer or shorter. There's actually a rather large number of things you can do. Right now, I'm going to be playing on the expert difficulty. And I'm going to go, and that comes with one rewind, which lets you rewind one turn. I'm going to leave that on because this is my first playthrough of the DLC they recently released last week, or last fortnight, one of the two. Contingency Plan, which comes out with, basically you can disable the Contingency Plan additions on a case-by-case basis. So if you like the extra agents and nothing else, I could turn off everything, or if I prefer anything along those lines. So that's actually pretty neat. That's pretty cool. But otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and play on the standard difficulty with, on the standard expert version of difficulty with one rewind and the DLC enabled. And I'll be letting you guys watch the various cutscenes and animations and whatnot. So, we're going to start game, and that's going to show us the opening cutscene. I'll let you guys watch that.
Get to the main server, collect the data, and get out. No detours.
Copy that, Central.
Proceeding to target.
Insertion was clean. Alarm level holding steady. We need to get to the 3rd floor. We can make our way to the server room from there.
Any chatter on the comms?
Negative. It's silent on all frequencies.
They should have detected us by now.
Receiving priority wireless transmission.
They're onto you. Get out. Get out of there!
HQ compromised. We're going to need an extraction. I've got Incognita. Deckard and International are on their way.
Get to the roof. I'll cover you. Go!
Deckard, how long till extraction?
30 seconds.
Get us out of here. We've got work to do.
So, We're a bunch of super secret spies fighting the evil mega corporations of the future, and our base just got interrupted, and all of our cool stuff has been stolen. So that's pretty lame. Anyway, here is a list of all the characters you can pick, as well as starting programs. We'll start off with the characters. Characters, almost all of them will start off with a unique augment. There are 2 augment slots, and almost every character has one filled off from the beginning, and they're almost always unique. That is to say, you can't get them during the course of the game. Then they also come with items. Most characters will come with a neural disruptor, which is basically a short-range stun weapon. It has no cost other than a cooldown. And some will come with a unique item. For example, Decker comes with a modded cloaking rig, which basically allows a character to become invisible. Items can be traded between players, so I could give his cloaking rig to other players, to other characters. They also have the 4 base stats. We'll go into those more as we get later on, but short version is speed improves how many steps you can take during a turn. Hacking means how much power you gain from hacked consoles. Strength is how many items you can carry. And anarchy is basically, it allows you to pickpocket enemies, but primarily it allows you to use a lot of the most interesting gadgets. There are gadgets under speed and hacking, but anarchy definitely has the best, and then that's in exchange for having some of the weakest stat points benefits itself. So Decker and International are the starting agents, but they're not who we're going to be using. I've already picked them. We're going to be using Prism and Rush, and we'll go over them in just a moment, but I'll let the game explain them to you.
Esther is one of our newest recruits, and she shows great promise. She's certainly motivated to get back at the corps after the smear job they did on her. I don't keep up with the holovids, but even I had heard about her so-called youthful indiscretions. The corps are never more ruthless when they are trying to control their public image. I feel the same may be said for Esther. Colette was headstrong, aggressive, unpredictable, arrogant, hard to work with, and absolutely worth the trouble. She was the master of the smash and grab. No agent that I've worked with since could match her speed and ferocity in the field. In hindsight, this was probably her undoing. Had I maintained better discipline amongst the PEIA agents, we may not have lost the Istanbul run.
Alright, so we're going to go with Prism and Esther for this run. I had originally intended to maybe use 2 of the new agents, but there are only 4, and I couldn't really find a combination of them that I really liked. I kind of want to get a nice broad one. Prism is a personal favorite of mine. She's an old one. She starts with an extra point of anarchy, which gives her access, again, to some of the cooler gadgets. The standard neuro disruptor, and her augment is pretty cool because it gives you 1 power per device hacked, up to 2 per turn. This is somewhat notable because A power is used for hacking, which is of course pretty important. But also, she's one of the few characters where her augment doesn't require her to do anything in general. You could pretty much have Prism do whatever you want in a run, and then just let her soak up energy just by existing. So she's a lot less dedicated and a lot more adjustable. But the only thing that really suggests what she should do is that extra point of anarchy at the start. But even then, that's not really all that dedicated. Rush is one of the new characters. You can see right up here that she's from the Contingency Plan expansion. She is a bit more of a violent character. She's got an extra point of speed to start off with, which gives her +1 square to move each turn. And she also comes with a standard neural disruptor and a stim pack. A stim pack's not a unique item; it's available to anybody. But she does start off with 1 for free, and it basically lets you have an extra 4 movement points. They're called action points, but they're almost solely used for movement, so that's effectively what they are. But it's only once every 9 turns, so it's not that great. I'd probably end up replacing it, because it's going to take up inventory space. But hey, that means I can sell it for money. Her unique augment, whenever she sprints, and now what sprinting does, you have to use it at the beginning of the turn, and you basically don't move silent for that turn, but it gives you some extra movement points. And if I have her sprint, she will do +1 KO damage, which means when she knocks out a guard, that guard will be knocked out for 1 more turn. And she's got +1 armor piercing, which means that she could knock out a guard with 1 more armor than her weapon could have. The basic neural disruptor has no armor piercing, so if she's sprinting, she could take out a 1 armor guard. So, generally speaking, in the original version, on the normal campaign, guards didn't get higher than 3 armor. you usually only find a few 1 armor guards towards the beginning and the middle, and then at the end you start encountering 3 armor guards. So she's going to be able to knock out everyone for almost all of the game. But I don't know what the expansion brings in terms of harder guards, so I guess we'll find out. Next are our programs. Programs are primarily used for hacking, although they do have some secondary benefits. For example, right now, in the original set, the only ones you had gave you energy. So Power Trip gave you energy, Fusion gives you energy, but you have to have an initial investment. C basically just makes the first program cost 4 less power on a turn, which essentially means it's free. Faust gives you more power per turn, but there's a 20% chance of a demon installing, and a demon is basically a kind of a counter virus. When you hack into the device, the demon infects you and has some negative effect. Burst is the only one of here available that has a secondary effect of not hacking based. Basically, you gain 3 power every other turn because of a 2-turn cooldown. And when you get it, your agents gain 3 AP, but they lose 3 AP while it's on cooldown. So it's a bit of it's kind of a bit of an up and down one. It's going to generate more energy than Power Drip, but it's going to come at a cost of your agents, alternatively moving really fast and really sluggish. So that's one of the ones that can affect your characters themselves. There are other equivalent ones to that. I'm going to go with Seed here. It's really useful, especially later on when you get more expensive programs because of that cost reduction. And I am going to try the new hacking program, Golem. Golem breaks 2 levels of firewall for 4 power, but each turn the cost of it goes down by 1. So if you save up on it and wait, it'll be cheaper. But with Seed, the first use in turn is going to be free, and we're going to get 2 walls for completely free, which is going to be really nice. And later on, when we get other hacking programs, we can save up Golem, and then maybe only use it every now and again when it's much cheaper. So we're going to try out this. I've never used Golem before, and I've never used Rush before, so it's going to be a bit new. So, let's begin. It's 2074. The corporations rule the world with brutal efficiency. They hit you hard, and now you're on the run. You need to strike back, but you'll never win by force. Keep your agents alive with stealth and cunning. Raid the corpse facilities and tools and Raid the corpse facilities for tools and support, and prepare your team for the final showdown. The odds are stacked against you. You will fail repeatedly. Oh, well, that's mean. Now this is here is just telling me about about restarting. I don't intend to do that. I think I'll be fine. I don't think the DLC is going to be so hard that I'm going to lose. Anyway, I'm ready.
Operator, are you there? Good. I was afraid you didn't make it out. Headquarters is gone. Most of our agents have been captured or killed, and our accounts all frozen. I don't know how the corporations found us, but you can bet they won't give up now that they've had a taste of blood. The Jet's stealth rig should keep us hidden if we keep moving, but Incognita can't survive long on backup power. She's got 72 hours, tops. We need to mount a counterattack before then, or we'll be defenseless against their scans. If that happens, we may as well just crash this thing into the ocean. You've never seen the inside of a corporate deprogramming chamber. I won't see the inside of another. Incognita is scanning for targets of opportunity where we can replenish our supplies. Follow her leads and gather what resources you can. I'll run through our contacts and see what favors I can call in. We're going to need all of the advantages we can find in the coming days.
Alright. So basically, we've got our supercomputer Incognita. It's only got 72 hours to survive. We need to basically find a new place to plug her in. And essentially, a large portion of the game is not going directly towards your main goals, but invading various corporations in order to steal the stuff to get more resources, because we basically got nothing but what we have on our jet right now. In the normal game, we have 72 hours. Again, I don't know how the DLC is going to affect this. I do know it makes it longer. And missions, basically, it depends on how far away your jet is from the mission. You're always 12 hours away from the first mission. Actually, oh wait, 11 hours. I've never seen that before. Okay, so we're only 11 hours. That's not going to make too much of a big difference. But if you're really close to a mission, it can be as short as 5 hours. So, we're going to go here. We'll do our first mission.
Executives are notoriously slack when it comes to network security, and their terminals are full of interesting information. We found a lightly guarded executive complex here. Get in, find the computer, and steal their contact list. Then we'll have our pick of future targets.
So basically, we're going here. We've only got the one mission, and from here we'll find out more about other corporations and other good places to steal from. So let's, and also on top of everything else, each corporation has their own specialty here. Plastech Cybermedical, whenever you knock out a guard, they infest part of the software of the place and create more demons. So you kind of want to avoid knocking people out, because if you knock them out, then you're going to have to put up with counter hacking programs, which are kind of a pain. However, they're usually not so bad. I think, especially this early on, I'm just going to enjoy what I can get.
Coordinates locked. Ready to engage transport beam.
Bad news, operator. They caught us completely by surprise, so we have no firepower with us. The guards' weapons are gene-coded to their owner and useless to us. We're going to have to make do with what we can find along the way. We've beamed you through the security grid. You should be somewhere near the target, but you'll need to look for it. Get the list and find a transport pad to escape. But be quick about it. They noticed a disturbance when we ported in, and their alarm level is already rising.
Alright, so as we play the game, the alarm level in the top right is going to go up. There is no fail condition, but the higher it gets, the easier it is to fail. It just ends up being too much. You can hold down Alt, and I kind of get a tactical view. It just shows me how the objects exist as things to look at. So Russia's closer to the door. She's kind of our point woman anyway, so let's go here. We're going to take a peek to the door. This is one of the few things that costs AP that isn't movement. Alright, looks to be safe. And if we were to peek again at an open door, we'd be able to see pretty much the whole room. So we look to be fine here, but we know it's safe, so let's just move in. Nothing bad so far. Diagonal movement, by the way, is smart. As you can see here, we move 4 spaces and it only counts for 3. So the game knows how to count diagonal movement as more than just a series of horizontal movements. There's a door over here, so let's see about heading towards that. Okay, and this room is otherwise empty. Alright. Partially tempted to sprint here, but we're not close enough to the door. If we alert a guard on the other side of the door, they might come into the room and we're just not going to win that fight, so let's go. By the way, we're going to close this door on the way out. And space brings up the hacking view. Unfortunately, it looks like we don't have any access to any programs. This is the one downside of Seed, because it activates exactly once every turn. You want to try to hack something every turn in order to make the most use of it. But life's not perfect. As we can see here, the security level's going up. Basically, it goes up in increments of 5 each, 1 each round, and 5 every raise in the security level. Various things like getting spotted, knocking out guards on higher difficulties, or killing guards can cause problems. Now, Prism here. Now we're going to go ahead and peek with Prism. Okay, and we can see a camera there. So let's hack that. Not only can the camera no longer see us, but we can now safely see the room and realize there's nothing of threat. The red and yellow stuff we saw earlier is their vision range, so we can see. Oh, lucky us. These are power consoles. Basically, we hack them to get more power. If you've got more hacking, you get +1 power for them for each point of hacking you have beyond them first. We don't have anyone with that, so she's as good as anyone else, so let's go ahead and steal our power. We're probably going to have way more than we need this mission. This over here is a nanofab. It's basically a shot. Alright. Let's try to keep the two close together. Go here, it'll get me right next to the store. But we're probably going to want to come back here, so let's worry about the store later on. Go ahead. This is a bit risky, because if we alert a guard, but it has its advantages. She's a bit out in the open right there.
I heard something.
Okay. Looks like that guard is now aware of us, although where exactly he's going to be going, I'm not certain. Both of our characters are hidden behind furniture in a way that's useful for this. So let's peek through this door. Just to be completely safe, I'm going to open it up, peek around again to see around the corners. Okay, so the guard's going to come from here. And he's going to have a very bad view as there's stuff right in front of the doorway. I'm going to go ahead and leave this door open so I can continue to keep an eye on what's inside. And let's see here. Go ahead and hack this. That would allow us to turn off some firewall somewhere else, but we've got no reason to hack it right now, and because of the seed, we kind of want to try to do it on a per-turn basis. Ah, shoot. Okay, he actually spotted me. I said this would be risky. That gave me +1 alarm.
What was that?
Now, again, the thing about your guards is who attacks first. Fortunately, you're kind of given the benefit of the doubt here, at least on the standard difficulty settings, so... And let's go and see if he's got anything in his pants. Ah, security level 1 passcode. As far as I know, there's no level 2. Maybe there's level 2 in the DLC. But basically, this allows us to open up these red doors over here. Okay, and this guard apparently is aware of me in some way. I don't know how. Anyway. Prism, check out what's over here. Aha. Safes. Alright, so we got safes. We've also got a facility database which shows us what the layout of the place is, which is very handy. You have to be directly adjacent in a 4-directional thing to open the safe, so we'll get that done next turn. She's fairly safe where she is right now. As far as she goes, guards will only stay knocked out for about 2 turns. They'll wake up on the 3rd turn and not move, but they'll still be able to see and act. But as long as you're standing on top of them, they won't actually do anything. So it's sometimes a good idea to drag the body along, not just to hide it, but to be able to stay pinned on top of it. And we know there's a guard over here, but we're hiding behind this power supply. And I could move 1 more space. And I would be safe from him standing here if I were here, because it's kind of a straight line thing. You'll understand when we get to a chance. So it would be safe to stand here, but if he moved here, then I'd be screwed. It's not really worth the risk to take the extra space, especially given that we've already had 1 guard knocked out so soon. You want to avoid knocking them out so that you don't have to worry about pinning anybody. So let's just put him down. We'll stay right here. And we will end the turn.
Hey, intruder!
Okay, this is going a lot worse than I had hoped. Alright, her stunner is out of juice. Now the good news is I can... Nope, my mistake here.
Target down.
Alright, this is why I kept the reroll.
Compromised. Don't let them fall into any...
So we'll knock him out again. And we're not going to go into this room because that guard knows what to look for. You know that. Alright. She knows what's behind that. We know what's behind that door now, so we're just going to go ahead and move freely here. Get 1 step closer to the other safe. If we decide it's worth it to hack the database, we can always do so at a range later on. So yeah, Neural Disruptor has a 3-turn cooldown, so you can't fight in quick succession with that weapon. So she'll have to sit there. We'll let Esther do her thing over here, catch up, and that way she can back her up. And hopefully the thing will be off cooldown by then. We might also stop by the store once we've raided these 2 safes for their cash. There are also 5 safes guaranteed in every level. Again, at least before the DLC. Every... Oh, god damn it.
down.
Pay attention, operator. We
So,
can't afford casualties.
remember what I said about every move mattering? This has gone off much worse than I expected it to. So... This is just the first mission, too. Well, as I said, it would have been risky to run up to the door. I underestimated how risky it was. I don't know if the guards have just gotten better, in this game. Because they're doing, they're a lot more better than I thought, because this guy came from quite a ways away. Normally sprinting will only catch people's attention from up to 5 spaces away. I guess because the other guards saw me first, that's actually probably it. It's been a while since I last played, so I'm a bit rusty. Now, in Agents Down, I could drag them to the exit or use a med gel to revive them, but we're kind of so far behind. That's just the first mission. So we're kind of dead. So I think I'll go ahead and wrap up with a quick description of the stat system, and then next time we'll just start off, we'll do a new run, same characters. I'll just start off at the start of the next mission. But here's the stats in detail. As we can see with speed, we just get +1 movement per level, and at the final level we get +1 sprint speed. So sprint normally gives +3 movement, now it gives +4. Hacking, again, gives just +1 power per console hijack, and then +2 at max level. Strength lets you carry 1 more item per level, and if you carry more, you can carry more items than your max strength allows, but you are slowed down. You basically lose 1 point of speed for each one. Higher levels also let you drag people faster with less movement points, and at max level you knock enemies out for 1 turn longer with KOs. Anarchy is mostly just about stealing in terms of the base stat. Stealing more credits from guards is only so useful because it does cost me credits to upgrade the stat in the first place, and it still has to be that particular agent that does the stealing. If another agent happens to be better positioned, which is usually the case, you lose the benefit. Mostly you get into Anarchy for the better items that it can use, because it can use most of the items. Speed also has a few items, namely the Stim Packs and the Cloaking Field. Stim Packs let you run more spaces without sprinting. Cloaking Fields are exactly what you think they are. Hacking gives you access to a couple of, I think, EMP devices and a couple other minor things, or power generation. Strength is not a requirement for anything, but rather it's a requirement to carry more items without being slowed down. When you're overburdened, besides losing a point of speed, you can't sprint at all. It's not even an option. But I tend to like to get it up to 2 for just about everybody. The improved drag speed can help when keeping bodies down, and 4 items is about right. Usually most characters are carrying at least 1 weapon and 1 gadget, and the extra 2 slots are good for picking up other random stuff along, like key cards and the like. 4 is usually enough for most characters to get well enough along with, and for the most part, Anarchy goes up to whatever the minimum requirement for gear I want them to use is. Oh, and stealing, of course, you can steal, with 2 ranks, you can steal from a conscious guard from behind. You don't alert them, no chance of alerting them. This game is very not random number generated base. The bases are generated randomly, but everything else is pretty much deterministic. I'm trying to think, but there's almost nothing. In fact, one of the few random sources of random number generation is one of the new characters, who's got a fair amount of random number generation as a special augment ability. But we won't worry about that. I wasn't planning on using him. But, yeah. This is Invisibles Incorporated, and I got shot in the face. See you guys next time.